Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. This is weekly recap time. We're getting caught up. Thanks, everybody, for hanging in there and tuning in with me. So a few things about weekly recap real quick. Number one, weekly recap is always 7 days or less because a week is 7 days. I don't do any 8, 9 day, to impress you with the numbers. I don't put these numbers out to brag or impress anyone. If you're making more money than me, God bless you. I hope you, I hope you're doing great, honestly. I do this to help inspire people that want to become owner-operators, because when I was wanting to become an owner-operator back in like 2008, there wasn't as much information out there as there is now. So I'm just trying to help put more information out there. By all means, don't just go by my numbers. Use other reputable owner-operators that are putting out good information on YouTube to build, an idea of what it's like to be an owner-operator. So a few things about weekly recaps. Here's how I break them down. Number one, I'm leased to an 80-20 split carrier. Number two, I have a 2016 Freightliner Cascadia I. I'm on an 80-20 split. I don't really talk about my carrier, or I don't talk about them at all, because there's people out there that like to cause trouble, and I ain't trying to have a bunch of trouble. So, other things, I'll talk about the loads I do, why I chose the loads I did, what entailed doing these loads. Then we'll go over the variable costs. Now, I don't go over truck payments and insurance and other things you will need to run your business, hiring tax professionals. There's more things to it. When I get to the end, I'll say that's the money I have left to do what I have to do with, because it's not just like I get to take that money and go throw it in the air and, let it rain down on me. I have to pay other things out of this. I have to pay truck payment. I have to pay insurance. I have to pay, to hire tax professionals. I have to pay maintenance accounts and repair bills. So those will all be things, but everybody does that differently. So, I just kind of leave that up to you to figure out how you want to do all that. And some people don't have truck payments. Some people pay cash for trucks. Some people have huge truck payments. Some people's insurance is cheap. Some people's is expensive. That's why I don't put all that in there. I hope you can understand all, why I do it that way. Don't be too hard on me. So let's get into it. That's kind of the rundown. And also, real quick, the description down below has some good stuff in it. If you're not using the Mudflap app and you buy your own fuel, you're going to want to use that. Use my promo code if you don't mind. I'd appreciate it. Gets me $10 in free fuel. Gets you $10 in free fuel. But more importantly, it keeps Mudflap in business, because I like Mudflap and I want them to stay in business. My other channel's down there, Trucking with Diabetes. Check that out. It's building a community over there for truckers. Kind of to help us all stay a little healthier, and just a few things like that. So let's go over these loads. Let's talk about some loads real quick. Number one, I just came back off of vacation on this week, so getting back in the swing of things. I went from Minnesota over to Maryland. I do these loads quite often. This is probably like the 7th or 8th one of these I've done recently. Probably since the beginning of the year, so I'm doing like, one a month on average. Sometimes I do 2 of them a week, or, well, one time I did 2 of them in a week. So, that just gives you an idea, I like these loads. I do them quite often. That load was 1,038 miles, 42,000 pounds, negative 10 degrees, paid $42.50. So I like those. And then got over to Maryland. Wasn't a whole lot happen in Maryland. And the way I build my business is I like to go from Minnesota, where I live, out 1,000 to 1,500 miles. And then I like to turn around and I come straight back, because my good paying freight, my customers are in Minnesota. So I have certain areas of the country I target, like the Philadelphia, Allentown area, Atlanta, Dallas. These are areas I like to run out and come back, because I can get decent back calls to Minneapolis most of the time. So that's kind of how I operate my part of the business. And so there wasn't a whole lot going on in Maryland. Freight kind of fell off that weekend, or that week. So let's see, this was a Monday to Wednesday run. That's one of the reasons I take that Maryland run. That's a 2-day run that pays $42.50. So it starts the week off really good. And then it's up to me to figure out how I'm going to get back, without losing all that money. So wasn't a whole lot going on in Maryland. I ended up going over to pick up some chicken in Virginia, over on the island. I don't know if you guys ever been over there, Accomac or whatever. I don't know. It's a neat place going to. It's not fun getting in that island or getting off that island. I'll just be honest with you. Probably wouldn't do that load again. It's one of those one-time experience loads, and then I got all I needed of it, honestly. And that load came back up to Ohio, like the Dayton area. That load paid $2,200, and then I got a load out of the Dayton area back to Minneapolis, and that load paid $1,750. So the first load was -10, 42,000 pounds. The chicken load was 40,000 pounds, 26 degrees, and the load out of Dayton back to Minnesota was what was that? Oh, that was a mixed load of like dairy products. And that was 43,000 pounds at 26 degrees also. So total miles for the week, 2,549 total miles for the week. 245 on the deadhead on that. And the majority of that was going from Maryland over to Virginia to get that chicken load. 201 empty miles on that. So the other two loads really didn't have much deadhead at all. Pretty much got it all on that one. 2,304 loaded miles. That is 11% deadhead. So not out of range. You know, I try to stay in that 10% or less. So not drastic. But we add up the total revenue for all those loads, and total revenue for the week was $8,200 on the button. So 8,200. So 80% of that, my cut, is $6,560. We went over the miles. Let me tell you what some rates on some miles are. I knew I was forgetting to write something down. Let me give you some rates per mile real quick. 8,200 divided by 25.49. That's 322. All miles, 322. Whoa, freight is doing really good right now. 322. That is 257 all miles to the truck. 257 rounded up to 258. So yeah, 258, and then 8,200 divided by the loaded miles is 356. 356 loaded miles. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is great rates. So that's a breakdown of the revenue and the mileage rates. Let's talk about some variable expenses now. $1,500. $1,510. I'll put them up here for you. $1,510 on the diesel. That is a lot of diesel, but I remember starting off the week kind of low on diesel and finishing the week almost at full. I stopped in Wisconsin. I stopped about 50 miles before my delivery and filled back up. So, you know, it's like one of those things. Started kind of low, finished on full. So, big week on diesel. But $1,510 diesel, $144 on reefer, $48 on def, $199 on tolls, $39 on scales. I scaled all three loads. All three loads were heavy. Total variable expenses, $1,940 variable expenses. We bring over that $6,560 and subtract the $1,940 in variable expenses, and that leaves me $4,620 to do what I have to do with. Pretty profitable week there. You know, not a whole lot of like running. I normally don't like splitting those back hauls like that and doing two back hauls. I like something that comes straight back. I'm kind of lucky in that regard because I live in a triangle of three giant grocery warehouses. You know, a Unify or an Unfi as I call them. Used to be Super Value, Walmart, and a Costco. Like I'm right in a triangle of all that. So usually it's not too hard to find a load back to Minnesota. It's just depending on what it pays. That's the question. But I had to split them to get back this week. Just had to do what I had to do with. That was still a 7-day period. Got all that done. The chicken load, I did have one problem with that chicken load. I meant to talk about this earlier, but so apparently when they were loading it, it looked like somebody had either scraped a pallet down some boxes, or to me, it almost looked like a forklift fork or a piece of the forklift, front assembly had drugged down a box and ripped a big hole in it. And these were like the 2,000-pound bulk chicken boxes, like chicken paste. They call it mechanically separated chicken. And, so it ripped a hole in it. So then I had to find a landfill on a Saturday to dump that. And, boy, that was fun. That was good times right there. Luckily, found a landfill. The broker helped me out. They found somebody to dump that, would take that 2,000 pounds of chicken, and got it off of there. I'm not going to say the broker's name, but I'm still waiting on the broker to pay me back for that $120 I paid to dump that. Not to mention, I had to drive to the landfill and burn my fuel and all this. The broker didn't feel the need to help me compensate me for any of that. So be prepared for some of that mess when you become an owner-operator, because they kind of got you over a barrel. What are you going to do? You're going to say, oh, well, I'm not going to go dump this until you pay me, but the place closed at noon, so I had to get there before noon, and I already had another load scheduled for later that afternoon that, was only 17 miles away. So what am I going to do? Lose that load that's coming right back to Minnesota where I need to be? It's tales of the owner-operator right there. I love people in the comments. They'll say, oh, I would have done this and I would have done that, and I'm going to tell you right now, more power to you if you could have got away with it. But I was in a position where the place only took debit or credit cards, so I couldn't get a check for it. And now I'm waiting on them to pay me back. I'll probably never see that money. It wasn't my fault, but I'm paying for it, and that's how it works in owner-operator land somewhere. So be prepared for a little bit of that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care of each other out there. Be sure to check out my other channel, please. And if you want to keep watching some more Cash is King, click on one of these other videos that pops up here. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Take care of each other.